The mistake began with a chart. In the Hall of Ages on Karuan Prime, a spiral of light rotated above the council dais. Each band represented a civilization, color-coded by estimated age since first stellar flight. Near the outer rim burned ancient empires, the Karuan Ascendancy, the Ith relics, the Silent Choir. Near the center flickered thousands of younger species, brief sparks that might one day grow or fade. Humanity sat close to the center. A pale blue sliver, barely noticeable. Species designation, human, intoned the archivist drone. Estimated age, 12,000 local cycles. First faster-than-light event recorded 212 cycles ago. Classification, young. Aggressive curiosity index, high. Threat projection, moderate. Rising. The council murmured. Young meant reckless, young meant loud, young meant easily impressed by displays of power. And young meant conquerable. High Executor Vale of the Karuan leaned forward, his plated fingers tapping the stone. They expand rapidly, he said. Their vessels cross disputed corridors. They speak as equals when they are not. They build warships with crude efficiency, added an Ith relic, its voice echoing like wind through bone, but no elegance, no heritage. Vale's eyes gleamed. Then we remind them of their place. The decision passed without ceremony, a limited incursion, a demonstration, enough force to frighten the children back into their cradle. No one asked why the human response to first contact had been restrained. No one wondered why their archives, though vast, seemed selectively empty. No one noticed that human diplomats listened far more than they spoke. And no one imagined that the chart in the Hall of Ages was wrong. Captain Mara Ellison watched the council transmission end in silence. Around her, the bridge of the EHA's remembrance was calm. No alarms, no rushing crew, only the soft hum of systems older than most stars the council had ever mapped. They've crossed the line, said Commander Jian Rao quietly. Third Fleet, full incursion vector. They think this is a lesson. Mara nodded. They always do. She turned her chair slightly, facing the observation pane. Beyond it stretched a region of space marked on most maps as empty, a void between arms, useless, unclaimed. Except it wasn't empty. Signal the Concorde, she said. All layers, it's time. Rao hesitated, just for a breath. Full disclosure? Yes, Mara replied. No more half-truths, no more pretending we're something we're not. A faint smile touched her lips. They wanted to teach the young. Let the elders answer. Humanity's first lie had been small. When they reached the stars for the second time, the official history said humanity achieved FTL in the 23rd century, stumbled outward, met alien life, and joined the galactic community as an energetic newcomer. That story was true. It just wasn't the first time. The real first time was never shared. Long before recorded history, before Earth's continents settled into familiar shapes, humanity had risen. Not with sleek ships and shining utopias, but with stubborn endurance and dangerous curiosity. They had crossed stars slowly at first, bending spacetime in ways that scarred reality. They had built thinking engines and weapons that frightened even themselves. They had encountered others. Older ones. And they had learned a terrible truth: the universe was cyclical. Civilizations rose, burned bright, collapsed, and were forgotten. The galaxy devoured memory as efficiently as it devoured light. Humanity survived by doing something no one else did. They stepped aside. When the first great collapse came, humans dismantled their empires, buried their knowledge, and retreated. They seeded worlds with life and left warnings only they would understand. They learned how to sleep civilizations, how to fade without dying. They waited. When the galaxy cooled and life bloomed again, humanity returned as watchers, guardians, sometimes executioners, always silent. They became elders who wore the mask of youth. Again and again. By the time the Karuan Ascendancy recorded humanity as a 12,000 cycle species, it was technically correct. It just ignored the millions of years of history folded behind that number. The Karuan Third Fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. Thousands of ships, their hulls etched with symbols older than human agriculture. Energy shields flared like captured suns, weapon arrays aligned with ritual precision. They expected fear. Instead, they found stillness. Before them lay only a single human vessel. It was not large by galactic standards, no ornate spires, no intimidating glow, a dark, angular shape, scarred and unadorned. "This is Executor Vale," came the transmission. "Human vessel, you trespass on sovereign Karuan space. Power down and prepare for inspection." The human ship did not comply. Instead, it transmitted something else. Data. At first, the Karuan systems rejected it. Then their older archives began to stir. Dormant subroutines awakened. Forgotten encryption keys unlocked themselves. Vale frowned. "What is this?" The archivist drone stuttered. "Executor, these records, they predate our earliest confirmed history." Images flooded Karuan displays. Star maps that showed their homeworld before its oceans stabilized. Genetic records of Proto-Karuan, cataloged and annotated. Observational logs written in a language no one had spoken in millions of cycles. And always, in the margins, the same mark. A simple spiral. Humanity's oldest sigil. "This is impossible," Vale hissed. The human ship finally spoke. The voice was calm, not threatening, not proud. "Ancient. Executor Vale of the Karuan Ascendancy," it said, "we have observed your species since before you named yourselves. We guided your early expansion away from extinction corridors. We intervened once, quietly, when your suns destabilized. Silence gripped the fleet. You survived," the voice continued, "because we allowed it." Vale's claws trembled. "You claim elderhood? You, a species barely emerged from its cradle?" A pause. Then the human replied, almost gently. "We thought you young. Once, we were wrong too." Across the galaxy, similar scenes unfolded. Relic sensor arrays lit with recognition codes they had believed mythical. The silent choir heard harmonics only found in their most sacred burial stars. Minor empires discovered that the routes humans traveled were not random, but ancient patrol lines. Human ships emerged from places no one monitored. From inside nebulae known to tear matter apart. From gravity wells believed to be fatal. From the empty regions between arms. They were not numerous. They didn't need to be. Each carried history. Each carried authority earned the hard way. On Karuan Prime, panic spread through the council. "The humans have activated precursor networks," shouted one delegate. "No," whispered the Relic, "they are the precursor networks." Vale slammed his fist down. "Lies, legends, no species survives that long." A new presence filled the Hall of Ages. Not physically. The spiral chart changed. Bands of light rearranged themselves, responding to commands older than the council itself. The pale blue sliver near the center expanded, unfolding backward through time. It wrapped around the spiral. Over. And over. Humanity was not a band. It was the spine. A voice echoed through the hall, carried on every frequency. "We did not survive by ruling," it said. "We survived by remembering, by letting go, by choosing when not to be seen." The chart stabilized. Humanity glowed at every layer. Elder, fallen, reborn, elder again. Vale fell back into his seat. "What do you want?" he asked, small now. The answer was immediate. "Balance," said the humans, "and an end to the lie that age equals wisdom." The Third Fleet never fired. Nor did the humans attack. Instead, the fleets withdrew, shaken, carrying truths that would fracture old hierarchies. Humanity did not claim territory. They claimed responsibility. Where young species rose too fast, humans advised. When ancient empires stagnated into cruelty, humans intervened, quietly at first, firmly when needed. Some resisted. Those did not last. But most learned. They learned that the quiet species with blunt ships and patient eyes were not children playing at war. They were caretakers of a galaxy that kept forgetting itself. Captain Mari Ellison stood once more on the bridge of the remembrance. Rao exhaled slowly. "It's done. The Concord is active. Full acknowledgement across council space." "Good," Mara said. "Do you ever wish," Rao asked, "that we'd told the truth from the start?" Mara smiled, tired but real. "No," she said, "if they'd known we were elders, they'd have followed us blindly, or tried to kill us sooner." She looked out at the stars. "They had to think us young," she continued, "so they'd show us who they really were." The remembrance turned, engines humming with restrained power. Humanity returned to the shadows. Not as conquerors. not as gods, but as what they had always been: the ones who remembered. And the universe, once again, learned its mistake.